All right. Good afternoon, Darya. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. So you've applied to an HR generalist position of mine with a local law firm. You have been with the United States military, with the Army since 2018, working as a human resource specialist. Tell us what a typical day looks like as an HR specialist for the United States military.
Yes, ma'am. So I just came back from a deployment in Jordan and it was very high paced, very high energy dealing with the different soldiers and processing their paperwork. I work with secret information, so I do have a secret security clearance, so I know what it's like to keep confidential information confidential. And yeah, yes.
Okay, fantastic. Now, let's just say like a typical day, because obviously HR in the military is a little bit different, but as far as processes and procedures, I mean, obviously you still have that in place. What would you say a typical day looks like for you? As far as maybe handling paperwork or scheduling leaves and things like that, because obviously the recruiting side is probably, or it is much different in the military. You probably weren't doing as much recruiting per se, because you were already dealing with folks that were already enlisted, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
So I dealt with a bunch of leave, like emergency leave, ordinary leave, because we also had contractors who worked out there, so they would have to take leave every couple of months. People
Okay.
who had pay issues, I had to send those up to be processed through our finance department. Also, I dealt with the benefits, letting them know like, hey, this is what you're eligible for. Made sure they got hazard duty pay, combat pay, things of that nature.
Beautiful. Now, as far as the nature of like how fast-paced the environment was, because truthfully, I'm not familiar, myself personally. Would you say it was a fast-paced environment?
Very fast paced. I worked with a lot of officers and NCO, senior NCOs. So when they wanted something done, I had to move around things to make sure they got the things that they needed because their position is just as important.
Fantastic. What computer software are you comfortable working with on a daily basis?
Microsoft 365. So that's Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook.
Fantastic. Now, what about payroll? Were you involved in any part of the payroll process?
Yes, ma'am. So I helped the soldiers fill out the 4187, which is it's the paperwork that they have to get processed in order to like say, hey, there's an issue, I need to make sure I'm getting the pay. So I would contact the finance department after they filled out all the paperwork and just send it to them.
All right, beautiful. And then what would you say at this point in your career is the most important thing to you about the next company that you work for?
Job stability. I actually want to start from the bottom of a company and work my way up. I don't want to keep switching to different jobs. I want to find a company that I can grow with.
Fantastic. And this company is located in Maitland, Florida. That's a commutable distance for you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, beautiful. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the recording and chat with you a little bit more if that sounds good.
Yes, ma'am.